Hi, it's Connie Erickson, and today I want to talk about affairs, which is kind of a weird thing to talk about for someone who runs communication courses. But affairs are probably, if not the number one, definitely in the top three reasons why people come to me for couples counseling. One partner has been unfaithful, and whether or not has come to light, the couple's trying to recoup their marriage. So I'm sure you've heard theories about why affairs happen. One popular one is that the unfaithful partner is not getting what they need at home. Some wayward spouses claim that it just happened, or I was drunk, or the old, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And while all these may have a certain level of truth to them, in my experience, there is one and only one real reason for affairs. And hi, Lauren. And that reason is lack of good self-care. Now, this might seem like a crazy offbeat statement. And it is, but I'm going to share some examples that will have you understanding why lack of good self-care is the biggest cause of affairs. Please note that these are all based on real people with real families, and the names and some of the specifics have been changed to protect identities. But let me start. Karen was a successful lawyer. She had preschool and school-age children. Her husband, Adam, was intelligent, and he was a great father and provider, and Karen was reasonably happy with her life. And a few times a year, she would travel for work and meet up with an old flame for a few nights of passion. Keith was the VP of IT at a big corporation. His secretary told him how handsome and smart he was, and his wife, Bernadette, told him how he was never home and didn't help enough around the house. Carl was depressed. He hated his job but felt trapped in it. And when he and his wife, Jeanette, moved to a new neighborhood, socializing with friendly neighbors helped him feel better, especially when he was around Brenda, one of the other wives. Robert had never been in love with his wife. He had never felt that awesome and powerful drug that is infatuation. His wife, Sarah, was a nag and boring. And he found that feeling of infatuation with his coworker, Liza, and he knew that that must be true love. I could list dozens more couples that I've worked with, and most, I am proud to say, are still married. But it took a boatload of work, and avoiding affairs is, in the long run, much easier. The common thread of all these stories is self-care, or lack thereof. In each of these cases, the wayward spouse, the partner who had the affair, in each of these cases, the affair partner, so like the commonly called mistress, I guess, or the man who was I don't know what the male counterpart of mistress is, but the affair partner provided a sense of excitement, an ego boost, and a sense of nurturing. And it may be true that the wayward spouse was not getting this at home. That being said, I'm going to say something incredibly unromantic but true, and that is that no one person can do this for you consistently for years on end. In my course and probably in other lives, I've explained why this is biologically true. But that being said, it's your responsibility to do this for yourself. And unconditionally, year in, year out, you do it through feeding your passions in healthy ways, through work, through hobbies, through friendships and achievements. You do it through living out loud and with the help and encouragement of your partner, but it's your doing, not your partner's doing. And if you're unhappy with what you're getting or not getting from your partner, you need to talk about it. And you need to say what you need. You need to ask for what you need from your partner and from yourself. This is especially true of sexual wants. You need to be clear about it and ask for it. All of these people could have avoided affairs with adequate self-care. And here is where they are now. Karen and Adam are still married. Karen stopped the affair. She and Adam continued their status quo marriage. It was, sadly, she understood the self-care concepts, and she did get more self-care. So that was really a good thing, but she never really shared her wants and needs with her husband, especially in bed, and never helped him to become the lover she really wanted. They kept a distance between them, and she was never as present as she could have been in the relationship. So kind of halfway did it. Keith and Bernadette are closer than ever. It turns out both had a trauma history that they kept secret, and sharing that with each other created an incredibly strong, intimate bond. Keith took responsibility for how he felt about himself and his work-life balance. And as he did, he needed less ego stroking. As a result, he became more admired by his wife and colleagues, and eventually started his own firm, one more consistent with his own values and his newly found confidence. Carl still has the same job, but now he's married to Brenda, and I don't know the ins and outs or the nuts and bolts of their relationship. I do know that 4 out of the 5 children have been in and out of counseling, and that Carl and Jeanette, the original parents, have a less than stellar co-parenting relationship. Robert and Sarah are also closer than ever. As Robert came to the unromantic realization that infatuation is not necessarily an indicator of the trueness of love, he made it a concerted effort to become more open with his wife. He felt before like he couldn't be himself with his wife, and he really made a concerted effort to be himself when he was at home. And he occasionally played some of his most loved rock LPs with her and talked about why he loved them. He took responsibility for his own behavior, both good and bad, and Sarah nagged him less. And during our last session together, he said, and this is one of my proudest moments of a therapist, he said, "Connie, I'm starting to fall in love with my wife." And it was just really a cool moment. But my take-home message is that knowing yourself, being authentic in and out of your marriage, and living out loud are the keys to avoiding the pitfalls that lead to affairs. So good communication will definitely help in that regards. So drop some comments. Let me know how this is helpful or not. Oh, okay. Someone told me it's a man stress. I don't know whether that's a good analogy for mistress or not, but anyway, drop some comments. Let me know your thoughts about this, and I'll see you next week at 5. Thanks.